What's going on, everybody? King of Dragons 5000 here, coming at you with another figure review. Today we'll be having a look at the Medicom Mafex Justice League Flash. And so here we have the Mafex Justice League Flash posed and out of the packaging. Before we take a look at the figure, let's actually run through his accessories really fast. The Flash does come with two different head sculpts. We do get a masked head, which looks really nice. I do like the detailing on it. And we get an unmasked head, which does look a lot like Ezra Miller, which I am happy about. Then we also get several sets of hands. We do get a pair of fists. We get a pair of relaxed hands. We get a pair of flat hands for running. We get a pair of style pose hands, which has two fingers sticking out. And then we have a pair of hands for pushing people and running away. Other than that, we don't get any other accessories for the Flash, which is a missed opportunity because I would have loved to see lightning attachments for this figure. It's so sad that he doesn't come with anything else. So with that out of the way, guys, let's actually move on to his details. And so here we have a closer look at the Flash. Now, I think Mafex has done an amazing job with all these Justice League figures, and Flash here is no exception. And if I like one figure out of all of them, Flash is up there with one of my favorites, just because of the amount of detailing on his costume. I don't know how well it's going to show up on camera, but there's a lot of detailing in his costume, a lot of contrasting textures. You can see we have some smooth textures, some I don't even know how to say that. Panel work? Line work? There's just so much going on his costume, and I'm not gonna lie to you, when I first saw it, I was a little bit hesitant on liking it, but the more and more I have it in hand, the more I mess with this figure, the more I'm actually warming up to this Flash costume. Yeah, it's not your traditional Flash costume, but the way they talk about it, it makes sense on what and how he made it. It resists friction. That's basically what it does. And it looks really nice, and you can see all the nice detailing in it. We get some ribbons going all throughout his costume where it's just bolted together, maybe even buttoned. We have some wires that hold it all together because, you know, he made this himself, and it does look really nice, especially here on the shoulder pads. We have those pins. We have some more texturing right here, some more of these line work. Although I do think that the line work is actually supposed to be like cables that hold everything together. I think if it didn't have the cables, it would look a little bit nicer, but it's still a fantastic sculpt. And again, you can see a contrast in textures throughout his costume, which, ooh, that's just so beautiful. Especially right here on his arm, we have some smooth texture, some bumpy texture, and then we have some like basketball texture right here. So overall, there's a lot of things to like about this figure. We do have the gold parts right here on his arm, some more smooth texture. There's one thing I don't like about this particular design of the Flash. It's that he has open fingered gloves. Don't you want to not leave fingerprints at crime scenes? I'm just saying that that's an easy way to get found out. But yeah, overall, I do like the way this costume looks. You can see right here more of the cables that hold it together, some more armor panels. So yeah, it just looks really nice, especially with all the contrasting textures, how we have lines, we have almost like basketball texturing, we have some smooth plates. So much to like about this figure, and we also do get contrasting colors. We have some blacks, grays, dark reds, and almost like a maroon burgundy, which all these colors do work really, really nice together. They complement each other very well. And again, you can see some of the burgundy I'm talking about, some dark red right here on the smooth panels. There's just so much to like about this Flash figure. I can go on and on about his detailing, and it actually makes sense on why he's so armored up, especially because he's trying to resist the friction caused by him running. We do get lightning bolts right here at his shoes, which looks really nice. And then surprisingly, he does have treads and lightning bolts at the bottom of his feet. I don't know if that's accurate to the movie, but he does have it, so that's a really interesting little detail that they did add. They didn't have to, but they did anyway. Also, this chest piece looks like the Psycho Ranger. I'm just saying it out there. Now that you see the Psycho Ranger mask in there, you're probably never going to unsee it because there are the eyes, the mouthpiece, the teeth. It's a Psycho Ranger. That's what it is to me. But anyway, the Flash here is just riddled with a lot of nice detail. I don't even think riddle should be used. He's just full of really good detail. So with that out of the way, guys, let's actually get him posed and compare to other figures you may have in your collection. And so here we have the Flash pose next to a Marvel Legends Cyclops and a DC Multiverse Superman. Here we do have the Flash pose next to a WWE Elite Collection figure and a Mezco 1/12 Collective Popeye the Sailor Man. Here we have the Flash pose next to a Lightning Collection White Ranger and a Star Wars Black Series Mandalorian. So with the comparisons out of the way, let's actually run through his articulation really fast. The Flash does have a lot of articulation, although some parts of it are fairly loose. I do have to go in and touch them up. For starters, you can see moving side to side, his head is incredibly loose at some parts. It doesn't take much for me to move it around. Looking up, it has no problem. It is on a double ball joint, so that does work. But yeah, it's really loose going side to side. I don't know why it's like that, but that it is there. Head tilt works perfectly fine. We get some pretty good range there. Most of the movement does come from the neck. So we do have a ball joint here at the neck, and then we have a double ball joint at the head, so combining the two gives us really good range. Now I have taken this figure apart, so I know exactly what's going on in his shoulder. We have a ball joint going into a butterfly joint, and yeah, it is a ball joint going into a butterfly joint. You can see me pivoting it up and down, forward and back, and then we can move that butterfly joint out. Now it's interesting the way they connect the butterfly joint. It's connected via ball joint right here somewhere in his chest. So not only can he pivot his arm forward and back, but you can pivot his arm even further down. You can pivot it even going across his chest, so I do like that. Arms do move all the way around, and his shoulder pad is connected to his shoulder, so you don't have to worry about that just free floating. It moves with the shoulder, as you can see. Really nice shoulder movement. We do have a bicep swivel, which works fine. Double bend here at the elbow. We have a swivel hinge at the wrist, so depending on how you have that hinge, you can have up and down or in and out swivel and rotation, so I do like that. He does have a double ball joint here at the torso. It is a fairly limited for what you want. It doesn't give you the most dynamic crunching, but I kind of wish it was a little bit better. You can see it move side to side really nicely, as well as rotate. We do have a double ball joint here. We have a ball joint connecting his torso and his waist right here. So you would think that you get more range out of a double ball joint, but no, unfortunately it is fairly limited. They should have carved out just a little bit more so he could get better movement. He can crunch to the side really nicely, so I do like that. And again, we have rotation. Legs do kick forward to about there, which works perfectly fine, although they do start kicking out to the side as you move it up. They go back to about there, out to the side. You do want to be careful because, as you can see, his hips actually collide with his torso, so you got to be aware of how you have his torso positioned, because you can see I can't move his torso any lower because the hip is in the way. Once I move that, I can now crunch that. So yeah, his hips and his abs do kind of make it a little bit harder posing him, but you can do it. We do have a thigh swivel up high, double bend here at the knee, giving us really good range. I do like that. I believe we have a ball joint here at the ankle because it does pivot side to side, forward and back, and does rotate. And then of course we do get a toe hinge, which actually works on the Flash. I'm not a fan of toe hinges, but on the Flash it works wonders. So with that out of the way, guys, let's actually get Flash posed for my final thoughts, and then we'll wrap up this review. And so here we have the Medicom Mafex Justice League Flash pose for my final thoughts. And overall, I really love the way this figure came out. He is very detailed in every way possible. I still think that Cyborg is my favorite when it comes to detail, but the Flash here is a very good contender for second place, maybe third, because I still think Aquaman has a lot of detail, but that's neither here nor there. It's up to you to decide which one you'd prefer. The Flash here looks really nice, and I do like the array of hands he gets, although I kind of feel like he is missing some accessories. A few lightning attachments would have been really nice for this figure, as well as an interchangeable head. Besides the unmasked head, we know Flash was very expressive in the Justice League movie. I kind of wish that we did get some of those expressions here on this figure. Maybe a worried expression, a smiling expression would have been nice. But overall, I still think Mafex has done a great job with this figure. The detailing on it is amazing. The articulation does function. And because his hips do work the way they do, he actually gets in really good running positions, because as you rotate and pivot his waist, the hip that's supposed to be moving forward actually gets better range because the pelvis piece isn't in the way. So that's a really interesting design. I think that was entirely by accident, but it does function really well. And Flash here looks really good, especially when you get him in running poses, although he does need help with a display stage. You can either use the Mafex display stage or a Tamashii stage like I'm using right here. Either way, they would both do the job and make Flash look even better in his running poses. Now, Flash here, unfortunately, is not getting a reissue from Mafex. As far as I know, Flash here was a one-and-done deal. He, like Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, aren't getting any other re-releases. So if you miss out on Flash, you are looking to pay at least $120 to $140 for this figure. He was $60 when I purchased him, and that was because nobody wanted the Justice League figures. But now that the Snyder Cut is coming out, which I haven't seen yet, I do think he's going to go up in price, and it has shown, because he went from $60 all the way to $120. That's a huge jump in price. So if you didn't miss out on him, you do have to get him second hand. With that being said, guys, I'm KingofDragons 5000. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel. Go ahead and check out all my other action figure reviews, as well as all my other Mafex Justice League figures. Hopefully you find them informative. As always, if there's a figure you'd like to see me review, let me know down in the comments. And if it fits in my collection, I'll definitely have a look at it. While you're at it, check out my Instagram account for new and exciting action figure photos. And as always, ring that bell to be notified every time I upload a video. Until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Take care, everyone.